Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Triple H sent a heartfelt message to a major star ahead of tonight's edition of WWE Raw. This week's episode of the Red Brand will air live from Minneapolis and is shaping up to be an eventful show. Ahead of Raw, Triple H took to Instagram to send a heartfelt message to popular comedian Bert Kreischer, who will be in attendance for tonight's show. The Game shared a photo with Kreischer and also promoted his comedy special on Netflix, as seen in his post below. Always great to have a lifelong fan in the house. Thanks at Bert Kreischer for stopping by #WWE Raw. Check out his new special Lucy Key on at Netflix. Triple H wrote, "Tonight's episode of the Red Brand will feature a Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. The War Raiders will also be defending their World Tag Team Championship against the New Day. Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk are also scheduled to appear during the show." Wrestling veteran EC3 recently discussed Triple H's management style during his time in WWE NXT. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's The Wrestling Outlaws, EC3 shared that the King of Kings would often allow him creative freedom in the company's developmental promotion. The former NWA champion added that the 55-year-old would often rehearse entrances with stars ahead of takeover events. "When I came back, I had the established thing already. So it was kind of, I don't want to say hands off, but like it was known," he said. "I'm writing something about Triple H. I'm talking about how in NXT takeovers, if there were dramatic entrances, he would do it how he wants the guy or girl to do it. He would come out, do their thing and rehearse their entrance." From 4/31 onwards, popular comedian Andrew Schulz was featured in an angle last month on WWE Raw in Madison Square Garden. Schulz was attacked by Logan Paul, but AJ Styles ran out to make the save, and the two stars will be squaring off at WrestleMania 41. It will be interesting to see if Bert Kreischer makes an appearance during tonight's show. The lights inside the WWE Performance Center glowed with a rare kind of energy as the clock struck midnight. The night was still, but within the walls of the building that had built legends, something was stirring, something emotional, something powerful. In the days leading up to a monumental episode of Monday Night Raw, the WWE Universe buzzed with anticipation. Rumors swirled, tweets flew like wildfire, and the fans speculated endlessly about what was to come. But behind the scenes, amidst all the planning and hype, a more personal moment was taking shape, one that wouldn't be captured in the ring, but rather in the quiet pulse of a text message, a call, and eventually, a public declaration of respect. Triple H, the cerebral assassin turned executive visionary, had always carried WWE on his back with pride. He had fought wars in the ring, redefined eras, and now in a suit and tie, he guided the next generation with the same fire he once brought to the squared circle. But tonight, it wasn't about business. It wasn't about scripts or angles or the next pay-per-view. It was about heart. And it was about one man, Cody Rhodes. Since his triumphant return to WWE, Cody Rhodes had been nothing short of a revelation. Draped in the legacy of his legendary father, the late Dusty Rhodes, Cody's presence was electric. His promos were poetic, his matches theatrical, and his mission singular: to finish the story. The same story that began under the harsh fluorescent lights of WWE Developmental, burned brightly in AEW, and had now returned home. But the journey hadn't been easy. His torn pec injury, his battles against the Judgment Day, and his relentless drive to rise again, it had all taken a toll. As WrestleMania had passed and new feuds began, the weight of legacy seemed heavier than ever. This Raw, everyone knew, was going to be different. It wasn't just another show. It marked 10 years since Dusty Rhodes' final on-screen WWE appearance, and Cody was set to headline it. Triple H had watched Cody grow from the young man trying to escape the shadow of his name to the leader who now carried that name with pride. That night, Hunter sent a message to Cody, private, personal, and raw. But Cody, deeply moved, later posted it with Triple H's blessing. "Cody, there's no script for what you're doing. You're writing your own story in a language only a few understand. What you do this Monday isn't just for you. It's for your father, your family, and for every dreamer who's ever stepped through these ropes. Proud doesn't begin to cover it. Finish it. Yeah. Within minutes, the post exploded online. Fans across the globe felt the weight of those words. Superstars backstage, often stoic and guarded, were seen misty-eyed. In a business known for bravado, this was a moment of sincerity. And it wasn't just about two men. It was about legacy, honor, and the soul of professional wrestling. WWE Raw that night felt different. From the moment the opening pyro lit up the arena, the atmosphere was electric. A vignette played, black and white clips of Dusty Rhodes, spliced with Cody's journey, narrated by Paul Triple H Levesque himself. His gravelly voice broke slightly as he spoke. The American dream built foundations that will never crack, and tonight, the American nightmare builds on them. Cody's entrance that night didn't need any extra flair. The crowd's deafening chant of Cody, Cody, echoed like a war drum. He didn't speak right away. He just stood there, eyes glassy, staring up at the heavens. And then slowly he raised his father's iconic leather cowboy hat in tribute. The match that followed was poetry in motion. Cody versus Seth Rollins, a trilogy renewed, but this time without animosity. It was respect. It was art. And when the final bell rang, Cody stood tall, not just in victory, but in catharsis. Backstage, the cameras didn't capture everything, but phones did. A fan-recorded clip caught a moment just after Cody returned through the curtain. Triple H was waiting. No words were exchanged at first, just a tight embrace, one that spoke volumes. And then, barely audible, "He'd be proud of you." Cody nodded, visibly emotional, and whispered, "Thank you for everything." Later, in a Raw Talk exclusive, Triple H addressed the moment. Cody's not just a main eventer, he's a torchbearer. We often talk about passing the torch, but the truth is, Cody forged his own. And tonight, he lit the path for everyone else. Social media flooded with reactions. At Wrestling Fanatic 93 wrote, "Triple H and Cody gave us a raw moment for the ages. You could feel Dusty in that arena." At Queen of the Ring said, "HHA's message wasn't just heartfelt, it was history." That's real wrestling storytelling. Even wrestling veterans chimed in. Mick Foley tweeted, "Sometimes the best promos aren't cut in the ring." Triple H's message to Cody? That's the soul of this business. #respect. In an industry filled with promos, rivalries, and spectacle, it's easy to forget the humanity behind the characters. But this week, WWE reminded us all why we fell in love with wrestling in the first place. Because sometimes, amidst the chaos of kayfabe, a real story unfolds. One about a son honoring his father. One about a boss recognizing greatness. One about dreams, American and otherwise, being realized. Triple H's message to Cody Rhodes wasn't just heartfelt, it was history. And as Raw went off the air, with Cody standing in the center of the ring, eyes skyward, the entire WWE universe stood with him. Together, they whispered the words that echoed in all of our hearts. Finish the story. Let me know if you want a version of this formatted like a news article or something more casual/fan style.